Delhi Chief Minister, meanwhile, is not leaving any stone unturned, and therefore it will be very crucial how the national capital will look at the COVID wave this time as well. The wave peak is more or less over as COVID cases have dropped significantly. Focus will be shifting to the upcoming third wave. Delhi Chief Minister has met officials of experts committee at 11 a.m. and will be meeting the preparation committee members at 4:30 p.m. today evening. Hospitals across the city have started ramping up infrastructure to ensure availability of essential equipment, drugs and ICU beds for elders as well as children. A task force has also been set up to suggest measures to protect children from the wave. Delhi on Thursday recorded 487 fresh COVID-19 cases, lowest in over 2.5 months. As many as 45 new deaths were also recorded, while the positivity rate slipped to 0.61%, said the authorities. I'm going across now to Kumar Kunal from the national capital, Delhi. Kunal, what exactly could be the Delhi government strategy? Because there has been criticism coming in for the Kejriwal government that there were some lapses. So how can they be now better prepared for this wave, Kunal?
See, now second wave is almost over as the positivity rate has been recorded below 1% for fourth consecutive day. Hence, Delhi government is now preparing for the third wave, and for that there are two committees which have been formed. The first committee is known as the expert committee, consisting of 8 persons headed by a senior bureaucrat. The second committee, known as the preparation committee, consisting of 13 persons including experts and bureaucrats. So both these committees have a different role to play. The first committee, the expert committee, will chalk out the strategy, how bigger the third wave could be and whom all it can impact, what should be the arrangements. So all these nitty-gritties will be chalked out by the expert committee, and then the implementation part that will be done by the preparation committee consisting of 13 persons. So these two committees have a crucial role, and that's why Arvind Kejriwal is meeting with both of them, and hopefully something constructive will come out, as even IIT Delhi, which has projected in a model that more than 45,000 per day cases can come in the third wave. So that is a big number, and arrangements should be according to that only.
Kunal, keep tracking all the latest. Kunal reporting from the national capital. Thank you very much for now. Because the third wave of COVID-19 is almost here, and is it inevitable in the sense that, yes, there will be a lot of effect of it that will depend on us completely, is what experts are saying, which is that the public by themselves will have to stay alert when the wave arrives. My colleague Sneha Mordani short while ago spoke to public health experts about what needs to be done next to recover from the second wave and brace for the third.
As we see a decline in the second wave of cases, a third wave, according to a mathematical projection by the National Supermodel Committee, looks possible. Scientists have warned against it.
We can expect, let's say, till September, October, people to retain their immunity. So first observation we can make is that the third wave is not going to come before that. If our vaccination pace covers up for that, and so that the percentage of immune population remains reasonably high, then the third wave's impact will be very localized.
The government too has said it will happen.
The phase 3 is inevitable, given the high levels of circulating virus. But it's not clear on what time scale this phase 3 will occur. Hopefully incrementally, but we should prepare for new waves.
But medical experts and epidemiologists say the government can avert future disasters only by investing in healthcare workers and public health. India's response to COVID has been tripled by an acute shortage of medical staff, doctors, nurses, paramedics and technicians. The country has 37.6 healthcare workers for every 10,000 people. The World Health Organization's benchmark is a minimum of 44.5. At 562, India has the highest number of medical colleges in the world. But given our 1.3 billion population, the doctor-patient ratio is abysmal. 9 doctors per 10,000 people, as against 42 in Germany, 28 in the UK and 26 in the US. There are only 15 nurses for every 10,000 individuals. The UK has 150, Germany 132, the US has 85, China has 23. China, which is more populated than us, has 3.61 million doctors, nearly thrice that of India.
All the vacancies of frontline workers who are instrumental in doing the earlier actions in terms of testing, contact tracing, and also for actions including clinical care. This time we should not have any excuse for not preparing for multiple waves.
Experts say surveillance is also the key.
In order to prepare for aggressive containment, we need to have a really strong and proactive surveillance system. This can be done only by expanding the surveillance system's reach and also capacity in terms of identifying cases as early as possible. The moment we identify such clusters, we should be investigating it and preventing it from further spread.
Vaccination is our weapon to minimize the adversities of a third wave. The speed of vaccination should increase many folds to reach at least 10 million doses per day over the next few months.
We need to vaccinate as many people as we can before any sort of third wave hits us. The more we vaccinate, the better prepared we are.
Also, involvement of the private sector to handle the crisis, increased bed capacity and better resources, the paucity of which saw India collapse during the peak of the wave. The government says a lot depends on the people and we can have the situation under control even if the mutating virus keeps us on the edge.
Given the variant, given the reduced protection from vaccination, good protection against severe disease, but not full protection against infection, and enough number of unvaccinated people in every country, I believe outbreaks is a reality that everybody has to be on guard against.
This is an opportunity for governments to build strong and resilient healthcare systems. This pandemic, especially the second wave, has exposed India's dismal healthcare system completely. The need of the hour is to invest in India's healthcare structure, the system, increase spending on healthcare. Clearly, radical solutions are required. In New Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today.
Delhi may see over 45,000 cases of COVID, possibly in the third wave. 9,000 hospitalizations may also be needed. All this is being mentioned in a report prepared by the IIT Delhi, a prestigious institution. And that is one of the 3 scenarios as per IIT Delhi, the report adding that the medical sector, the health sector, needs to be prepared this time. The health industry is saying that it needs the government to step in already. My colleagues Anisha Mathur and Sneha Mordani with this special report.
Delhi will see a surge and it could challenge the national capital once again. That is what a report submitted to the Delhi High Court by IIT Delhi says. Surge in cases up to 45,000 a day, with 9,000 hospitalizations every single day can be expected. Prepare for the third wave is what the report is suggesting. The suggestions include building oxygen storage capacity, looking at supply of oxygen from outside Delhi, preparing a portal for the same, ensuring compatibility of nozzles, refillers, capacity evaluation, planning manufacturing units for oxygen production, and addressing shortage of cryogenic oxygen tankers. Overall, scenario building plan the infrastructure requirements for COVID third wave.
The IIT Delhi Department of Management, in its detailed status report before the Delhi High Court, has flagged 9 specific areas of concern, which includes not only oxygen transport, distribution and storage, but also the online databases and apps created by the Delhi government, to keep track of the hospital beds, oxygen, medicine, etc. availability. In addition, the IIT report also says that the third wave of the pandemic could be even more infectious and could require even more hospitalization, beds and oxygen for the city. The Delhi government has assured court that their plan for COVID management going forward will take into account all of these areas of concern.
The report says there could be 3 scenarios. Third wave scenarios. Number 1, same as peak patient load of COVID-19, second wave. Scenario number 2 is 30% increase in patient load over scenario 1. Scenario 3, 60% increase in patient load over scenario 1. The medical industry has approached the government saying the need is to stockpile COVID essential medical items to face a third wave, same as at least 47 of them. Experts are saying there is an urgent need to create a stockpile of 25 to 30% of the annual national demand and warehouse it in the 4 geographical zones.
We've been recommending to the government to create a stockpile which should be 25 to 30% of the annual procurement by the central and state governments as a national stockpile at 4 different geographical zones, and to create a production-linked incentive scheme which is more important for the MSME sector to ramp up the production of these critically needed 41 COVID medical device items and to reduce GST on the 18% COVID medical device items to 12%.
The 47 essential COVID items that the industry wants stockpiling of range from air mattresses to swabs to digital thermometers, masks, PPE kits, glucometers, among others. The industry has also said there should be a reduction in GST from 18 to 12% for 40 medical devices.
As we saw with the PPE and the COVID test kits, India has to depend on itself. We look forward to the government of India announcing some encouraging schemes for the local manufacturers to boost sales and stockpile of the essential items.
These projections made by scientists for Delhi and for different parts of the country help in assessing the situation. It puts the focus back on where we need to prepare. It looks like that the third wave is inevitable. The idea is to ensure that no reaction is knee-jerk and that this time around the virus doesn't get the better of us. With Anisha Mathur in Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today.
As the COVID pandemic rages on, Ahmednagar district has reported nearly 9,000 corona-positive children only in the month of May. India Today chose to do a ground report about possible reasons that led to 9,000 kids getting infected with COVID in 1 month.
(16,541) children infected with COVID in the 2 months of April and May. The second wave has hit all age groups in Ahmednagar district. At this COVID center, 20 kilometers from the city, the doctor in charge tells India Today there are 52 COVID positive kids undergoing treatment. All the kids have mild symptoms and there are no complications.
5 to 15 years, many pediatric patients admitted in center, but now 12 to 10 patients are below 5 years, pediatric patients. With mother, when mother come positive, then pediatric patient also, baby come positive.
आज ही पॉजिटिव आई है सुबह।
टेस्ट किया क्या आपने?
हाँ टेस्ट किया।
तो उसको सिम्टम्स क्या है?
उसको बुखार है और सिर में दर्द है।
The Ahmednagar administration confirms nearly 9,000 kids have tested positive in May. Of the 77,500 infections in the month, 8,881 or 11% are kids. Keeping this in mind, the administration is gearing up with new COVID centers for kids equipped with ventilators.
चिल्ड्रन का जो है कि हम एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए जो है कि बाल रोग तज्ञ का टास्क फोर्स भी हमने कॉन्स्टिट्यूट किया है और टोटल हमारी कार्रवाई चालू है।
Experts, however, say the new trend should not cause any alarm.
In last 6 months in Maharashtra, at least I can tell you, the percentage of 0 to 5 kids among the total positive cases is near about 1% to 1.5%. It has not changed at all.
India Today visited a home in Pune where 3 out of 4 kids have tested positive. The family says 2 of them were asymptomatic, while 1 faced dehydration.
So I would like to give a message, please keep children hydrated because it is dehydration which causes more discomfort.
We got immediately admitted and they started our treatment. My health, it was till 4 days I wasn't feeling well. I had fever, cough, but that's it.
Although 8,000 to 9,000 kids have tested positive within a month's time in Ahmednagar district, the state surveillance officer says nothing to worry. He claims that same are the figures of kids testing positive.
COVID has already led to deaths of children in Brazil. There is also news coming in of a COVID variant in Singapore that is also infecting children, and therefore there is already an alarm that is being raised in India as well to be better prepared and protect children from the third wave. So are we looking at a third wave that could impact our children more? Take a look at this report.
COVID kills over 2,000 children in Brazil. Mothers give birth to stillborns. And hence today, the worry increases on whether India can run into the same fate given the cavalier response of the government. The focus now is to protect Indian kids.
The lack of health infrastructure will actually sicken more people. And that's inherently the greatest, saddest thing, because those things are preventable with public health measures. And so I really pray that India gets its healthcare infrastructure improved.
An abundance of population is a matter of concern for India that could see a third wave. But will it be worse and impact kids more? Experts say there is no evidence as yet.
I think out of an abundance of caution, we should potentially plan for a third wave. And in terms of whether it would be even worse among children, I've seen no evidence to suggest that the current wave is any more severe in children. When we have so many cases of confirmed COVID disease in the population overall, naturally, we're going to see a tremendous number in children as well.
A concerned mother and also a doctor who wants to vaccinate her child has questions on vaccination repercussions on kids.
You know, what I worry about is, okay, what would the next wave be? What's the next variant? But then I also worry about what are the risks of the vaccine. So right now, the kids, the mortality rate is extremely low. Then if I'm giving my child a vaccine and the vaccine has a higher mortality rate than COVID itself, then I'd want to understand that. I'd want to know.
We have these trials, and this is why children are getting the vaccines later than adults. And in terms of the actual consequence, there's no proven clotting in children. There's no assumed risk. But we know there's a huge known benefit, right? The huge, large benefit. And there's no apparent risk in children whatsoever.
India has lessons to learn from the deadly kids wave in Brazil and pick cue from the catastrophe and be prepared regardless. In conclusion, epidemiologists are of the strong opinion that a third wave is likely in India, with not much evidence to prove that it's going to be worse in kids, but there would be no excuses for India to not prepare. A proactive, precautionary stance is what India needs to adopt. In New Delhi, Jayati Narula for India Today.
And it's a wrap on this bulletin for now, but don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after a short break. You can always log on to indiatoday.in for all the latest. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.
watching India Today.